Hey friends, my name is Oleg. This is Mr. Bond. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to do a full review of Citizen ProMaster Automatic Limited Asian Market Edition. Ever since Seiko announced that they're going to discontinue Seiko SKX, we've been looking for a Seiko SKX alternative. And I think this watch here is a great alternative to the Seiko SKX. You know what's not a good Seiko SKX alternative? The new line of Seiko 5 watches that Seiko released instead of Seiko SKX, which by the way, I have one of them in my hand, and I'm gonna do a review of it very soon. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you don't want to miss that video. But for now, let's focus on this Citizen ProMaster. This Citizen was provided to us for this review by dutyfreeislandshop.com, and we get to keep the watch. Actually, dutyfreeislandshop.com has also sent another watch for the review a couple of months ago. That was the Orient Bambino, which I reviewed, and you can find that video on the channel. There are no affiliate links, so if you go on their website, we're not getting paid or anything like that. And of course, getting this watch for free is not going to affect the review in any way. There is a promo code. Again, we're not affiliated with them. We're not getting any money, no commissions or anything like that. They just want to be nice to the subscribers of this channel. So if you buy anything and you use the promo code, which I'm going to link in the description below, you will receive a free NATO strap. Now, it's not a very good quality NATO strap to be fair, but it is free. So with all of that out of the way, now let's review this watch. And let's get started with the case dimensions first. This watch has a diameter of 42 millimeters. It's 47 millimeters from one lug to another. It has a lug width of 20 millimeters and it's 12.5 millimeters thick. And here's what the watch looks like on my 7.5-inch wrist. It fits really well. It fits flushly to the wrist, and overall the sizing would fit smaller as well as larger size wrists. Now this watch fits very similarly to the Seiko SKX, so I'd say it fits like a true 42 millimeter, maybe even slightly smaller like a 41 millimeter watch. This watch has protruding first lug, and that expands the lug to lug distance by a couple of millimeters on each side. So keep that in mind if you have smaller wrists. It has a stainless steel case with pretty good finish. It has brushed finish on top of the lugs and polished finish on the sides of the lugs. It has a similar shape of a case to the Seiko SKX, except it's like a mirror image of that case. So the crown, instead of being at the 4 o'clock position, is now at the 8 o'clock position. That makes it great for people that like to wear their watches on the right wrist, or for people that are left-handed. Now, I wear my watches on the left hand, and having that crown at the 8 o'clock position, I didn't find problematic at all, so it didn't dig into my wrist, and I didn't have any issues with that. The crown at the 8 o'clock position is a screw-down crown, helping with that 200 meters of water resistance. It is also a signed crown, something that we don't see on the Seiko SKX models. The knurling on a crown, the grip on a crown are really good. That execution is excellent. The level of finish on the watch is fairly competent. It's about the same as the Seiko SKX models. As I mentioned in the introduction of this video, this is a limited Asian market model. However, there are a few retailers that do sell them online and ship worldwide, like dutyfreeisland.com. And on their website, this watch is available in 3 different color combinations. This gilt and black color combination appealed to me the most. However, I also like the blue bezel color combination. I'm not exactly sure how many pieces were released of this watch, how limited is the limited edition of this watch, but nevertheless, it is cool and it is original. One of the big differences in this watch that I find is the movement. Whenever I think about Citizen ProMaster line of watches, Eco Drive always comes to mind, their quartz proprietary movement. However, this watch here is not quartz. It is powered, in fact, by Citizen in-house movement, Miyota 8302. It's an automatic movement with hand winding. However, it does not have any hacking. It has 21 joules, beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, has a unidirectional rotor, and 40 hours of power reserve. Now, the unidirectional rotor is probably the biggest negative of this movement, other than the fact that it doesn't hack. So you can expect some rotor noise. Have a listen. It isn't too much because the case is a diver style case, so it has a screw down case back and all these things to reduce the noise. However, you can still feel it and hear it a bit. If that bothers you, well, of course, stay away from Miyota 8 series movements. One of the main reasons why this watch makes such a good Seiko SKX alternative is the fact that it is a proper diver's watch with 200 meters of water resistance. It is an ISO certified watch, just like the Seiko SKX. Now, how is that different from other 200 meter watches? Basically, a lot of the micro brand watches and other watches that state 200 meters of water resistance on their dial have tested their cases internally, if any testing was even done in the first place, and they decided that, hey, it could withstand the pressure of up to 200 meters of water resistance. But that's different to what Citizen does. They sent off their watches to a third party to get independently tested and independently certified. So that's why they can put that word diverse 200 meters on the dial. That word diverse is the keyword here. Only ISO certified watches can put that on their dials, so you can be sure you can go swimming, you can go diving with this watch safely, and it will withstand the pressures. And that's why so many people love their Citizen ProMaster watches. They might not have the best specs, but they have that X factor. And this watch here is a little bit more special because it is a limited edition. I really like the way it looks. It's not all positives, but there are quite a few positives for me. I love that plate between the gilt writing and the black dial. I like the applied indices. I like the set of hands that they use. I like the integration of the date window, so we have a date complication. Not too much writing on the dial, so that's a positive. I also like the red tip on the seconds hand and that minute running track. Now let's talk about the minute running track, because if you take a closer look, you can tell that it is slightly misaligned. Who do they think they are? Seiko? The bezel and the mark do line up properly, but the chapter ring throws it off slightly. It's not a huge deal, but if you are a bit OCD about those things, if you do buy one of these watches, and maybe not necessarily the limited edition one, but just a regular ProMaster, double check, make sure that it all aligns properly, and I think that's a good idea with any diver watch, not just Citizens. The Loom on the watch is okay. It could definitely be improved, especially if you compare to the Seiko SKX Loom. Initially, it's fairly bright. However, as time goes on, within an hour, the Loom fades pretty much to nothing. The only thing that's visible are the set of hands. So the indices could use a few more layers of Loom, especially since this is a diver watch. The bezel on the watch is a unidirectional 60-click bezel. The bezel action is pretty good. It does have slight back play, but not too much. Easy to grip thanks to these teeth. I do wish it had a little bit more resistance. It's a little bit too easy to turn for my liking, but overall bezel action is pretty good. It has a solid screw down case back, as you would expect on a diver watch. Quite a bit of writing on the back of it, but you can't really read it because it's all printed. It doesn't have a nice engraving on it. Even all the printing is not engraved. So the case back of the watch could definitely be improved. I'm just not sure how many people actually care about the casebacks on their watches. I personally appreciate when companies take their time and put some effort into their casebacks. This Citizen ProMaster comes on a stainless steel bracelet, and the bracelet for the most part is pretty good. It's comfortable, it fits the overall aesthetic of the watch, has solid links and solid end links. However, there are a few negatives with this bracelet. Number one, the fact that it only has 2 micro adjustments. Number two, the fact that it has these protruding first links. I'm not a big fan of that look. And number 3, the fact that it has a pressed metal clasp. I know that a lot of watches from Citizen and Seiko in this price category, or even more expensive price category, still come with pressed metal clasp. However, if you look at so many other micro brands that come with engineered clasps, it's pretty much no excuse in 2019 to release a watch with a pressed metal clasp. To be fair, the metal that they use is fairly thick, so it's not a very cheap feeling pressed metal. Nevertheless, it is a pressed metal clasp, and that could be improved. So that's the review of Citizen ProMaster Automatic. A cool watch and an impressive watch in many ways. However, not a perfect watch. It does have quite a few negatives. The fact that it has only a mineral crystal, the loom could be improved, the movement could definitely be improved, and the bracelet is iffy. So there are some changes that need to be made. However, for $240, it is a proper diver watch. It is a great alternative to the Seiko SKX, and I can definitely see why so many people love their Citizen ProMaster watches. I appreciate you watching this review until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss more videos like this in the future, and leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you would like me to compare this watch to my Seiko SKX, do a side-by-side comparison. If you want to see that video, drop a comment in the comment section below. Once again, huge thank you to dutyfreeislandshop.com for providing this watch for the review. And my wristwatch check for today is a Seiko SKX, the watch that I've had in my collection for quite some time. I did many videos on this watch, including a full review That video can be found on the YouTube channel. I will also leave it linked in the description below. Also in the description below there are a couple more links. Number one, there is a secret link, have a look if you're curious, and the second link is a link to bondnatostraps.com. If you're looking for a good quality native strap and want to support this YouTube channel at the same time, buying one of these native straps is a good way to do so. Thanks for watching this video, hope you enjoyed it, I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. He took by the nose right away.
Whoa, he's having pain. Don't be cruel. Wow, fighting with the fox. Look at that. Yeah.